all that. It's despite anything that anybody got to say. One more thing that she said. Well, one other thing that she said was the baby got stepdaddies waiting. He got stepdaddies waiting to take care of him, waiting to love on him. And it's like the simple fact of you are putting this narrative out there that is not true. There are not a line of men that's waiting to be stepdaddies. It's not. Yes, it happens. It does. But statistically, it is not men waiting, lining up to be somebody's stepdaddy. They're not. These men want to have a family of their own. They're not looking to come in and raise somebody else's kids. It happens. Yes, it does. And y'all love to try to use Sierra. Russell did it with Sierra. Russell is also a millionaire. Sierra is also a millionaire who was well off before Russell came along. She didn't need Russell to take care of her kid. Y'all love to try to throw that out there, but guess what? There's no line of men waiting to be a stepdaddy. There's lines of men waiting to fuck you. Yes. Yes. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of them. There's a line of men waiting to fuck on me. But there is not a line of men waiting to be great stepdads. I want to be the best stepdad ever. No. So although that may be her reality, y'all women, the average woman, y'all need to get that shit out y'all mind. Then you're going to sit on your behind and have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. For what? Why? And then you want to cry and say you can't find a man. Fucking course. I bet you can't. You don't need to be looking for a man, honey. You need to be looking for a babysitter. Like, you need to be looking for the best job that you could possibly find. And then I'm not saying it is not possible, because it is possible. I know women who have a lot of kids and they got a man. But it's not easy, and it's not a line of men that's waiting to become stepdaddies. It's not. They're not. Because I know if the shoe's on the other foot and the men were the one who had primary custody of the kids and he had 8 kids, I don't want to be with no man who got no 8 kids. I'm not trying to come in and play stepmama to all these kids, especially kids that's not mine. 1, 2, okay. 3, you pushing it. But come on now. If the shoe's on the other foot, would you want to date a man who has primary custody of his kids and he has 8, 9, 10, 11 kids? Let's be for real, ladies. No. Fuck on them. Yeah. That's cool. Go out, have a little fun here and there, woo-woo, whatever, hang out. All that coming home to you and all these kids running around and yelling and screaming and worrying about school clothes and school this and going to meetings and yada yada and this event and that event. No, I would not. If the shoe was on the other foot and it was men who had custody of these kids and not us, and we came and got them, picked them up from time to time, whatever, but they didn't live primarily with us, baby, I would not want to be with no man with no whole bunch of kids. I would not. No. I don't want to sign up to be a stepmom. No. But y'all will sit here and y'all crucify these men because these men have a choice. They have a choice to not deal with the woman with kids. And y'all have to understand that at the end of the day, you made that decision to bring that kid into the world. And especially if you decide to bring some of these kids into the world, knowing damn well that your baby daddy wasn't worth 2 pennies. And you still decided to bring that kid into the world, knowing that your baby daddy told you he wasn't ready for a kid, and he didn't want this kid with you. And you still decided to bring that kid in the world, and now you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids later. And I'm not talking to the ones that can afford the kids. I'm not talking to the ones that's mentally ready for the kids. I'm not talking to y'all. This video is not for y'all. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking to. Everybody knows somebody who I'm talking about right now. But y'all will sit here and y'all will act like, oh, she bad. She went. No. What I am saying to y'all is do fucking better. That's what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, when you know better and you still choose not to do better, that's on you. You want to be that way. You know damn well you can't afford to keep taking care of these. You know you can't afford the first couple kids that you had. But yeah, you're going to continue to have them and continue to have them and continue to have them. What long-term effect do these have on your kids? Your kids are not able to have a social life. Because they too busy having to come home and deal with your other kids while you at work, or while you at the club, or while you hot, or while you doing whatever it is that you're doing with yourself. But yet y'all are still decide to have more and more and more kids. And yes, granted, these are not my kids. I don't have to raise them. That is the reason why I do not listen to no anti-abortion nobody. Because guess what? When I decided to bring this kid into the world, that them anti-abortion people are not going to be there to help you. The government ain't your baby daddy. Okay? They came in trying to be your baby daddy, and then once they seen that y'all just became sorrier and sorrier with the generations, now they taking this back. It's hard to get housing, it's hard to get food, it's hard to get it's hard. The government ain't your baby daddy. And the more and more kids you have, it used to be like this, the more and more money that you get. Now they don't care how many kids you have. And y'all can't afford to take care of these kids. Not financially or mentally. Mentally, you have to be there for these kids. I have 3, and it is difficult to go from to intertwine with all 3 of these kids, because you have to get to know each individual kid. Everybody don't like the same thing. One like the color, the other ones don't. One like gymnastics, the other one don't. One like you have to learn these kids individually. And if you have 12 kids, a job, you the only parent, you may have a stepdaddy here and there, but is he really interacting with your kids? Is he really learning your kids? You don't even know your kids. So I know it's difficult for me with having 3 kids. I can only imagine a household with 8, 9, 11 kids. And on top of that, you're not as active in these kids' life. You watching your kids. You ain't raising them. You watching them. You babysitting them. Yeah. Y'all babysitting y'all kids. Y'all not raising them. You don't even know what your kid like. Each individual child is something different. Somebody different. And when I say mentally ready, that means you need to be mentally ready to sit and have a relationship with each and every last one of these kids, not just watch them. Stop. That's selfish. Stop having these kids that you can't mentally or financially provide for. Stop. You know damn well you can't provide for these kids when you at the food bank line every time the food bank people in the neighborhood. You know you can't provide for these kids every time when you at the free Christmas give line every year when Christmas come around. You know you can't afford these kids when you at the school supply line every year, at the free haircut line every year. At what point are you going to be like, all right, okay, enough's enough? All that, I don't believe in abortion. Well, you need to believe in some birth control or something. Because it's not fair for you to sit here and keep bringing all these kids in the world and then expecting for somebody to help you, when you didn't even want to help yourself by basically stop having all these kids. Before you even made it to the abortion stage, you could have just started using condoms. Okay, we all know that raw sex is good. It be good. It really be good. For real, for real. Okay, get on birth control. And a lot of women gonna say, I'm not messing up my body for that. You messing up your body anyway when you keep having all these kids. So if you're not going to get on birth control, you need to use condoms. And if you're not going to use condoms, then he didn't do a better job at pulling out. But we all know the pull out ain't as strong as it. That is not a good form of birth control. But needless to say, y'all will sit here and y'all will act like I'm saying something wrong. Like, oh, how could she say this? But more of the story is y'all around here having all these bastard kids. I got a couple myself. And you can't afford them mentally or financially. And y'all get mad because y'all baby daddies don't want to do more. You want him to be this kind of dad and he that kind of dad. And more of the story is, if you decided that you were going to bring a kid in the world, that is your prerogative, right? Be prepared for what comes behind that. Whether your baby daddy is here or he is not. And if you're trying to have a baby from a man who has repeatedly told you that he don't want this baby, If you're trying to have a baby with a man, he have told you on a regular basis he does not want a child with you. He's not ready for a kid. He don't want a kid, yada, yada, whatever. And you still decide to have that baby. Be prepared to be a single mom and to deal with your baby on your own. Especially if he told you he was not going to be there for you or that baby. Don't look for no child support because you decided to bring that kid into the world despite this man telling you he did not want a kid with you. And you thought it was a game. You thought he was playing. You thought he was going to see the baby and say, oh my God, this is my blood. I can't just leave my blood out here like this. No, these are a different caliber of men. These men are being like their granddaddies. The Rolling Stones. Granddaddy had a baby and they ain't gonna dog every neighborhood. Yeah. And they making y'all stand on that and y'all mad. And y'all really don't be wanting the kid. Y'all just be trying to be so evil and vindictive and have this kid by this man trying to keep him or trying to make his life hell, trying to prove to him that it's his baby but y'all really don't be wanting all these kids for real. So I'm trying to understand, why is it that y'all continue to bring these kids into the world despite the fact that despite the fact that you grew up in a broken home, you know what it's like not to have your daddy, and then y'all will still decide, oh, you know what? You know it'd be a good idea? Let me have a baby, and the daddy says they don't want to be there, and let me bring another child into the world, into a broken home. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because at some point, you got to start asking yourself, women love to say this. Y'all love to say, I want what's best for my kid. Well, if you wanted what was best for your kid, you wouldn't have brought the kid into this world with a man knowing that he does not want a kid with you. When y'all had that discussion after you told him that you were pregnant and he said what it was he said, and you still decided to have the baby anyway, was that best for your kid to be brought into a world with no father? Was that what's best for your kid? Or I want what's best for my kid, and you constantly keep the baby away from the dad despite the dad being a good father? Is that what's best for your kid?